Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my video. Tonight, I wanted to go over a few things, do a review of the motor and stuff. As far as the comments go on the videos, my computer is down again, and when I try to go into my inbox through my phone, it gives me an empty inbox. So the messages aren't there when I go into them, and I can't post anything from my phone anymore. Everything wants to go to Google Plus or wherever it's going. I have no clue. So I'm having a hard time returning messages and stuff. So I'm gonna try to do as much as I can here in the video. So just try to eliminate some questions here. You know, if I try to catch everything, I know I'm not going to be able to do it though. Well, anyway, the experimental 3-phase rotor, as you can see here, has 4-inch by 1-inch by 1/2-inch thick neodymium magnets on it. There are 12 magnets. They are in a north-south orientation around the rotor. And my coils are 75 feet long. They have 29 gauge and 26 gauge wire on them. I'm running an MJL 21194 transistor. That is what I thought was a 65 volt neon bulb. I have a 401 and 407 in there, 100 ohm fixed resistor, and this 5.5K pot here. I'll be running it. I've been running it off of this wall wart. Well, I have 3 of them here that I run them off of. This is the 500 milliamp. It's 12 volt, 500 milliamp is the out, and then it's 120 volt, 60 hertz input. Tonight I'm going to run the energy from the backside of the Bedini circuit into the magneto-hydrodynamic pump. Now I still have this set up in series. The coils are in series. They're all on one circuit. I should point out that not only are the run coils in series, but the trigger coils as well. I could not get it to trigger with just one of the triggers up here, so I had to I had all the 3 triggers that are on all 3 coils are in play here to make it run, because it would not trigger with just one of the triggers from one of the coils. So I had to put all 3 of them in play. And then I have my tachometer here. Now my tachometer, I was burning through batteries on it, so I stuck it on a 5 volt wall wart. Now this ran off of 3 AA batteries originally, so it's like 4.5 volts, 5 volts of fully loaded, you know, good battery. So the 5 volt wall wart there works pretty good for that. So I got that sitting on there, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and we'll give her a spin and see what's happening at the pump with this in series. Here we go. Let's see here. We're down here. We're pulling about 300 milliamps to start. It's starting to come up a little bit. As she speeds up, the faster it goes, the more times it fires, the more energy that it uses. So, but I had this adjusted to around 400 milliamps earlier. So yeah, it's resting on about 400 milliamps there so far. The pump is pumping. I have some floaties in there. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought we might have a little race tonight. It doesn't look like 3 and 5 is doing anything, but 1 and 2 and 4 are moving here. Let me get the buggy whip out here and see if I can coax them along here a little bit. Just a little bit. Get them into the stream there. There we go. Tried to make them a little bit smaller this time so they can get around a little easier. Alright, I only got about 1/8 of an inch of distilled water in there. I'm still using the bottled distilled water because I got a gallon of it, and I only use about 1/8 of an inch at a time in the dish. There you can see the hydrogen bubbles there, and the oxygen bubbles on the plate there. Yeah, I'm trying to use up that gallon of distilled water there. Check our RPM here is still climbing. We're at 760 RPM, and we're pulling about 500 milliamps. Now we're taxing that. We're running it to the max of the wall work here. Now I was running it in one of the other videos up to 900 milliamps off of this wall work, but the wall work got really hot. Excuse me, and but it still worked. It seems like it wants to climb a little bit higher than that. We're running at almost 950 RPM so far, still climbing. You see 3 got stuck again in the same spot it was before. Oh, I see, there's very little water. It must be bottoming out there. Not enough water in the dish, I guess. Now it's coming down this side now, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's flowing pretty good. As you can see how well it's flowing there. So what I'm going to do is, I got this this here. This is a, I don't know if you can see that there. It's kind of hard for me to see it, but this is a 20,000 microfarad 15 volt DC capacitor. So I am going to hook this capacitor up to that and see if it does anything interesting to the pump. So we see how fast those are moving now. Let's see if we can make it go faster. I think we just sped them up a little bit there. Yeah, they seem to be going faster down through the chute now. So I think we upped the juice on that a little bit there. So we're going to take the meter here and throw it down in here and see what we're getting across there now. Looks like we're getting about 9 volts across the helping hands there, across the plates there now. Now if I remove the capacitor from the equation, we go down to well, she's throwing around pretty good, isn't it? Wow, it's bouncing all over the place. That's weird. Usually it doesn't do that. That's weird. But I'll put this cap back on here again, and it goes up to, it smoothed it out, that's for sure. And it's really pumping like crazy with that cap in there. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now we've gone down, our amp draw is going down a little bit there. Now I'm going to disconnect the cap again and watch the amp draw, see if it has anything to do with anything. Oh, it moved just a little bit. Not much. Maybe 200 or 300 milliamps, or 2 or 3 hundredths of a milliamp, I should say, because it wasn't didn't move very much at all. Let me get that in the camera there. Let's see what we're cruising at. Well, we seem to level off at 1106 RPM. The pump is pumping like crazy, and the floaties are starting to pee in the pool, starting to turn yellow. I see one is stuck in a vortex up there, spinning around in a circle. Now, I cut my plates kind of short tonight. They're only 3 inches long. Magnet's 4 inches long, but that's interesting there. And boy, the other floaties are just flying everywhere, but that one is just caught in a vortex. Is it coming down? Well, maybe. Here comes 2 down that side. I give one a push. Yeah, one's starting to move. They're really jamming now. Moving pretty good. Bring the light over here and make it easier to see them. And they're all moving there pretty good. Alright. And we got the capacitor here in play. And we're kind of getting 8.98 volts across the plates there. At least that's what it's showing. And it's really pumping good, looks like. And yeah, we're just above 400 milliamps on the amp draw. The wall wart is cool. Transistor's cool. Slowed down a little bit, fluctuating there a little bit in our speed. Went down a little bit there. Still, the pump is pumping really nice. I got stainless steel plates in there tonight, the shim stock, the .007 thick shim stock is in there for the cathode and the anode, both. And we got bubbles on the plates on both of them down there. See the bubbles on there? A little late now. See the bubbles popping there? Smells like a fresh spring rain in here. And yeah, we're still sitting about the same on that cap right there. And it's really pumping good. Really pumping the water good. And we're still sitting at 1,097 RPM. Ramp draw is just above 400 milliamps. And the motor's spinning real nice. Take a look at Fishy there. I think Fishy's moving around more from the wind than anything. Because it's pretty smooth. A little bit of a vibration in the table. Not much. You really can't see it in the water there, so it's not really that bad of a vibration. It's still a little bit. I have open bearings in there, so every time I use it, I got to squirt some oil in there. Hence the paper towels down there, because it gets to dripping on me when I put a little too much in there. But better too much than not enough. So yeah, I just wanted to look and see what this configuration here, the 3 coils in one phase. Set up in series on one circuit, or in parallel, set up in parallel on one circuit, see how it would drive the pump. And we're starting to get some solid matter in there. It's still pumping really good though. You can see all the other stuff, as well as the little floaties going down through there. It's really pumping. Okay, well, like I said, I'll try to answer your comments everybody's comments if I can. Like my phone here that I'm using to record this is a first generation Epic, so it's like 4 years old or so, and my computer is a Mac, and it didn't last me a year. I don't know if it's just Macs or just everything is crap anymore. I don't know. But so I'll do the best I can for answering your comments. Now, what I think is really pumping nice with that capacitor on there. You know what? I gotta take this 250 volt one and stick it on there and see what it does. And then it goes back to flying all around again. I guess it's more or less an AC wave coming off of there. Okay, I'm hooking this one up, and we're at 699, 7 volts. Well, it doesn't seem to pump. I don't know if it's pumping as fast. I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but we're only getting 7 volts across the place now. But I don't think it's pumping across there as fast. So I am going to go ahead and hook this back up to here, to this other cap. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's pumping it faster that way. Look at all that poo in there. I think it's pumping it fast. Of course, we do have more voltage in there now with this 15 volt 20,000 microfarad, because this is a 10 joule. Here, I'm going to pop that real quick because I did have a little bit of juice in there. Okay, but yeah, that's a 10 joule 2550 or 250 volts. 10 joule 250 volts. Yeah, I think it pumps better with this one on there because it does bring the voltage up across the plate. So but that's only about 1/8 of an inch of water, maybe a little bit more in there. Distilled water. And that's the crap that all the poo is starting to build up, and that will turn into complete mud. That'll keep building and building in there and keep building in there until it is just mud. Excuse me. So yeah, that's the magneto-hydrodynamic pump on a 20,000 microfarad 15 volt DC cap. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I wanted to check the fixed resistor, the resistance across that before I started. I didn't do that. Well, we can do that right now, though. I can shut everything down. Now the pump is still pumping because we're dropping there. See if I can get both in the shot. Still pumping pretty good though. As we're dropping voltage across the plates. Let's see what happens if I hurry up the slow the rotor down here. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. It's hot, 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 hot. Okay, the rotor stopped. We have 1 point. Okay, I was just discharging there. And we have no movement in the pot. Okay, well, let's see. I'm going to take the leads out of here for this. Let's set this over here. We'll stick this on 20K here. And then we'll go across from there. I'll do this one hand here to there. It's says 0.26, so with a 260 ohm. Yeah, I think it's 260 ohm, because 1 point whatever would be 1K, so that's 260 ohm across the 100 ohm fixed resistor and the 5.5K pot. Now I wonder what this, let's see here, let's just check this. See, now that's a 100 ohm resistor. Yeah, I don't know what, if that's a 100 ohm. That's telling me it's only 10 ohm. Okay, so what this is telling me is that's 260K, or no, 2.6K. Let me try to get this back in here. Yeah, but I don't know, it doesn't seem right to me. Let me flip it back to that one. That's 2K. There, put the back in there again. 0.263, and it's on 2K. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. If I go across the resistor, it tells me it's a 10 ohm resistor, and it's 100 ohm. I wonder if I did stick a 10 ohm in there, thinking it was 100 ohm. I don't know. So that's saying it's either 2.6K or 260 ohms. See, it's 263 ohms. I don't know. What a piece of crap meter. I tell you what, I am going to have to look through, because that was a 330 and this was a 680, and that's 100. Maybe I accidentally got a 100 ohm or a 10 ohm in there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check back through some of my resistors there and see what happened. Well, all right, enough of that. Let's change that over to that. Plug her back in. Give her a nice gentle spin. Uh-oh. Well, my amperage is up. It's self-resonating for some reason. And the pump is pumping like crazy. Boy, look at that thing pump now. Let's see what I got across the plates here. got 14.49 volts across plates there with it resonating. Let's see if I can stop the rotor altogether here. I never stick my fingers inside there where them. Wow, I can really smell it. It's really, look at the bubbles coming off of the plate. They're really frying. I wish I could, man, get it in there better so you can see it better. But man, there's a lot of bubbles coming off the plates. I can really smell it. Bubbles are popping like crazy. It's really pumping fast. I got the 20,000 microfarad 15 volt cap on there, and we're at 14.5. It's jumping around a little bit there, about 14.5 volts across there anyway, roughly. I see number 3 got stuck over here in the corner again. Push it over there into the mix. It's really pumping. I can really smell it. See if I can zoom in on them bubbles popping like crazy there. You just see them across there, just fizzing away. Fizzing away. All that hydrogen coming off of there. Very interesting. There's the oxygen side there. Starting to get some stuff. Look at the bubbles are being pushed down as well. Popping down there at the end. Very interesting. See if she'll zoom in there. You can see the bubbles popping on there, I guess, hopefully. They're really popping. It's really jamming. Boy, it really smells like fresh spring rain in here. Yeah, it's pumping like mad. Pumping like mad. The magneto-hydrodynamic pump is doing its thing. We've dropped down to just under 14 volts on it. Let's see, we're still sitting at like 650 milliamps roughly. Now I'm going to go ahead and adjust the pot just a little bit to see if I can bring the oh, I lost it. It just stopped altogether. So let me give it a spin. Okay, there it is, resonating again. So now it's down to 400, a little over 400 milliamps. The pump is pumping like crazy. We have 13.2. Looks like the cap is draining. Our milliamps is still around 400 milliamps on the inputs. We'll check this again. Warm, nah, a little bit warm, not bad. We're pumping really good though. I don't think as good as when we had 14.5 volts going through it, because we only have 12.85, 84. It's jumping around there. Very interesting. And it's just resonating there, and the rotor's like bobbing back and forth there. I'm gonna go ahead and See if I can stop it from bouncing around. Again, we're still sitting at 400 milliamps there. It is pumping like crazy. So the light's not on, nothing like that. Let's see if my resistor getting hot. Nope. Nope, nothing's getting hot. See what happens when you have better pots? I gotta get some better pots. That one there is just an old one. I got that out of an organ. A friend of mine says, hey, I got some electronic parts. There's an old organ out here. If you want it, you can have the stuff out of it. I was like, alright. Figure I go out, open the garage up, and find an organ sitting in there. Well, I go over there's a garage sitting there. It's sitting outside, and all the lamination was off of it. I mean, it was like sitting out there for I don't know how long, a couple years maybe. And it's really hard to turn the pot. I have to hold the circuit with my finger here just to turn it because it's so stiff, but that's okay. The pump is really pumping. There's a lot of poop. A lot more building up. It just keeps building up, keeps building up, keeps building up. The longer I run it, the more poop there is. We're running at 13.13, and it seems to be dropping slowly. But that's with it resonating. We're still sitting at about 400, just a hair over 400 milliamps for the input. Now the bubbles are just rushing off of the front of that plate there. You can see, I hope you can see that down there, how those bubbles are just skimming off that plate. I don't know if I can bring that down so you can see it better. Let me try to zoom in again. You see all those bubbles coming around? Underneath where the 1 is right now, as soon as it gets knocked out the way there, maybe we'll be able to see. You can see the trail of bubbles underneath it though. So let me get my buggy whip here. So now you can see all those bubbles skimming off at them. Look at all those bubbles. There's a lot of them coming off that plate. They're getting pushed around from the backside, I think. There's some kind of hard to see down in there with the wires. But you can see that there's a good view of the bubbles coming off of it. They're just flying right around that plate there, almost like a vortex pattern there, but it's just going around the corner. It's not really spinning in a circle. And they're shooting down the plate there, or shooting down through the water. Wow, it's really making a lot of hydrogen with it resonating like that. Now we're at 13.09 here, and we keep like losing, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. We're losing or what. We're still sitting at the input there, and the rotor's not spinning at all. There's a little bit of a high-pitched squeal. If you get in a certain position, you don't really hear it, but if you move over, you can hear it. So that's interesting. The wall warts feels a little bit warmer than it was. A little bit warmer than it was. But it's really, really pumping really good. Very, very interesting. So now we're below 13 volts. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and give her a spin. See if it engages. There we go. I had to turn the pot a little bit. I guess I had it up a little bit high. Now we're sucking about 750 milliamps. After I get a moving arrow, adjust it a little more. Adjust it a little more. Drop down a little bit. When these coils are really fighting each other, I've only got them in there, held in there. There's a screw there and a screw there. I got 2 screws in each one of them, so they vibrate a little bit. You can see they move, you know. So they vibrate when they're getting pushed on. We're still building speed. We're running a little over 600 milliamps, so I'm going to go ahead and give the pot just a little bit of a turn. Try to. It's so hard to turn the thing with one finger holding the circuit. And we're still picking up speed. The vibration went away. The pump is pumping good. We got 7.5 volts across the plates. So slow it down a little bit there. We're still climbing, and we're just a hair under 500 milliamps. I'm going to try to give her just another little bit of a turn. Yeah. That dropped it down to about 4.5 or 450 milliamps. And our voltage went up to 8 volts. Looks like it's climbing with the along with the RPM. Okay, we're making hydrogen and oxygen there. I don't know if you can see the coming out around the corner again or not, but there's a same thing happening as before, just not as intense. You can see the bubbles coming out around the turn there under the water. It's like that white stuff. Those are all the hydrogen bubbles coming out the backside of the plate and being swept around down between them. You can see them popping down there. They're just popping away. The hydrogen is pumping really good. We're at almost 9 volts and still climbing. Still climbing there. We've leveled off on our RPM. Let me back off on the camera here. So we're still climbing, and we're at about 450 milliamps coming in. Let's see the wall warts. It gets warm. They get a little warm though when you've been running them for a while. We got all the floaties are stuck over here, looks like, so I'm gonna see if I can't kick them out into the mix here. Get the floaties going there. There's not a lot of water in there. Looks like the tube got stuck right there. I have to excuse my light tonight. I don't know what's going on. Sucks. My lighting sucks to begin with. So we're sitting at about 8.76 volts, 75 volts, about 8 3/4 volts. We're just about 420, 430 milliamps maybe, somewhere around there. Maybe we can get that in there. Stupid camera won't focus. And we're sitting at the 1083 RPM, and we're pumping. We got pumping action, and our voltage is still going up. Now we're at 8.80. very interesting. Very interesting. We're sitting at 1,085 RPM. So yeah, that's interesting there. I got that dialed in there for the parallel, and she's really strong. She's running real strong right now. You see my wires want to peek out again. I'm always doing this with this tape. It's not a very good idea, but it's got lots of torque. Whoa. And I slowed it down a little bit and want your speed back up again. With amp draw went up slightly. It looked like, well, after I let go, if I grab it, it goes down, but when I let go of it, driving it back up to speed takes a little bit of. So we're sitting right at 500 milliamps, and we're going back up here. Of course, the pump is still pumping, but we went down to 7.75 volts. Now it's going back up though, because the rotor's speeding up. So then we're sitting at 500 milliamps, half an amp. Got floaties floating. Well, I wasn't really paying attention to who the winner was tonight, but I'm glad I got this configuration sorted out here successfully. Though I did sacrifice pot. This cheap little pot right here. I'm gonna have to find another one for my yellow circuit so that I have adjustability in all of my 3 different colors and phases. I got them all hanging there, all the different coils and stuff. So lots of fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video. It's a really long one. I was thinking about maybe I'd crank this pot up just a little bit more and see if I can get it to go a little bit faster. Oh, it's so hard to turn that thing. There it goes. Where are we going? Did it change anything? Didn't really change the RPMs none. But we did lose one hundredth of an amp. So now we're at 400 milliamps, and we're sitting at 1,070 RPM, and we went down to 400 milliamps. We got 8.67 volts across the plates now. We're still running. We still got the 15 volt cap in there, 20,000 microfarad. So it's very interesting. Very interesting, the pumping action. So I've been I can't find what I had. It says I've been collecting mercury, and I think I know how I want to do that now for my continuing projects here. Of course, that's a little while down. I got to do a lot of work before I get something like that going. But lots of fun. See, we're sitting at 400 milliamps. I wonder if I can crank this up a little bit more. Actually, I'm cranking it down, I think, the resistance. But it's so hard to turn. There it goes. It's going down a little bit. We're just under 400 milliamps. And we're losing RPM just a little bit. Just a little bit. Back up there. Now it's going back up again. and we're sitting right on 400 milliamps. So I think if I run this circuit like this, 400 milliamps, so whatever my resistance is across there, I'd want to make into a, find a fixed resistor of that size and remove the pot, and that way I could put two phases up here, so it'd be 6 coils, and have them run both the same. Or even if I put all 3 phases on there with 3 circuits and still having them all run the same. I might have to do a video of that one, showing that. And that's where we're sitting across the plates. Very nice. Then we're back out to 1072 RPM. We're sitting right at 400 milliamps. And it's just cruising away. Well, I got 46 minutes for a video. Wow, it's going to take all night for this to upload. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful day. Peace.